Hey, Cameron, what's on your mind today?
Hey, what's up, Tom? How's it going?
I'm good. What's up?
Yeah, so basically, I heard a couple of your takes on the Second Amendment, and I was just wondering if we could, just discuss the fundamental origins and the purpose of the Second Amendment.
Sure.
Yeah, so basically, why don't you give me your take first, and then I could talk about my take.
Sure. Yeah, the Second Amendment came about for two reasons. The first was that many of the founders, Jefferson was the most outspoken about this, but he reflected probably the view of the majority of the founders, did not want to have a standing army during time of peace. Now, that's a sentiment that vanished after the War of 1812.
1812, right?
Yeah.
When they wanted a standing army, correct? Yeah.
Yeah, but because they didn't have a large enough standing army, because Jefferson had eviscerated it, he cut the army in half or more than in half. But so they thought that the individual states, like Switzerland does, the individual state militias would become the army. And then also you had Patrick Henry, and who was the largest slaveholder in Virginia, who was very outspoken about wanting the Second Amendment to protect the slave patrols in the southern states. Those were the two reasons why we have the Second Amendment.
Right. I mean, those are definitely two reasons why. I'm not disagreeing with that at all, right? But, Tom, you also have to admit, let's be honest here right now, right? The whole point of the Second Amendment, right? It's not to necessarily overthrow the government, but it is to protect. There is an individual right there to protect our God-given rights under the Constitution from tyranny.
That's got nothing to do with the Second Amendment. You will not find any quotes, any legitimate quotes from any of the founders asserting that the Second Amendment was written so that people could shoot at politicians. It just doesn't happen.
You could say that all you want, but
I did.
There was one time you cited what about the Tree of Liberty quote? The Tree of Liberty quote under Thomas Jefferson.
He was referring to the French Revolution.
No, he wasn't.
Yes, he was. Go back and read it in context.
That letter was. Hold on, Tom. That letter was written to John Adams' son-in-law, William Stephen Smith, right? And that was written in 1787. The French Revolution started in 1789. And he wasn't talking about the French Revolution. He was talking about Shays' Rebellion, which he says, and I quote, "What country can preserve its liberties if their rulers are not warned from time to time that the people preserve the spirit of resistance?
Okay.
Let them take arms." Cameron,
you may well be right. I don't recall. I'd have to go back and look. But nonetheless, the Second Amendment was not written so that people could shoot at politicians.
Made that very clear, not even just in that letter. Many other founding fathers as well.
Yeah, they were revolutionaries. They took on England. They shot at people. They killed people. We had a massive war.
Also wanted, Tom. They were smart men, though. They also understood. You could look at Vermont's state constitution, which was written 10 years before our own.
I'm not buying it, Cameron. I'm sorry. I'm just not buying it that the founders sat around and said, we ought to arm the people so if we ever get out of line, they can shoot at us. I'm just not buying it. Cameron, thanks for the call. Good try. We'll be back tomorrow, same time, same place. In the meantime, don't forget democracy is not a spectator sport. It requires all of us, and that includes you. So get out there, get active, tag, you're it. We'll see you tomorrow. Be good to yourself and people around you, and we'll catch up with you on the other side.